Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the cooperative game Tranquility the Ascent, which comes in this tiny box. You can see it isn't very big. I waited a long time to get this game after backing it on Kickstarter a few years ago, but I appreciate, I believe, Lucky Duck Games for making it happen after the original company didn't work out. I've played this game a couple times already. I lost quickly the first time we played, cooperative game, lost quickly, and then we kind of get the gist of it and worked up and won our second game. It's somewhat similar to Tranquility if you've played that, in that it is the mind, but with a spatial element. In that you have some cards in hand, you have your own randomized deck of cards, and you're trying not to run out of that deck of cards. And you are playing a card on your turn into a triangular shaped mountain. Let's see if there isn't really a photo of that on the box, but yeah, you can picture a triangular shaped mountain of these square cards. So you're putting the card like this, and then you're putting a card either next to that card or below it, in the same row or above it. You have to put higher numbers above, and cards of the same color can't be next to each other in the same row. Those are the main spatial elements of the game. One thing that I really like about this game is that there are ways to play. Typically, when you play a card, you have to discard cards from your hand equal to the difference of the number of that card versus the card that it's next to. So, for example, if I place this 6 next to a 7, the difference between 6 and 7 is 1. So I need to discard one card, which is actually great to only have to discard one card. There are even times where I place a 7 next to a 7 as long as the color is different on that card, and I don't have to discard any cards. That feels really good too. The other part of it, however, is that sometimes you can just play a free card because there might be no cards next to it at all. You might place it in a space where there's nothing next to it. And the key cooperative element of Tranquility is balancing how often each player does that, because you don't want, you'll lose the game if any player can't take a turn. And typically that happens when they run out of a deck of cards. So if one player is always just playing the easy free play, they're going to survive long after the other players, but that doesn't matter. If any player can't take a turn, the game is over for all players. So balancing that is an interesting form of cooperation in Tranquility the Ascent. However, I'm burying the lead here. My favorite mechanism of the game are the bridge cards. These cards, as you can see, have no number. They really have no color either. There's green border here, but that doesn't matter for the game. You can place these bridge cards wherever you want. So if there's a moment in the game where you really need to bridge a gap between two cards, you can place a bridge card there. The one catch with bridge cards is by the end of the game, you need to cover these up with another card, with a numerical card. So it gives you a lot of flexibility during the game to bridge gaps, to build up the mountain a little bit, to give you a little bit more flexibility. But there is still a challenge here. It isn't just a free card to play, because by the end of the game, you need to cover it up with a numerical card, and you have to actually play that card. So you have to still be able to play the difference in cards from your hand when you play that bridge card. But I really like the addition of those bridge cards. It really adds some nice flexibility in the game. In times where it would be really difficult to play a card, the bridge cards give you a nice, easy out for that moment in the game. So yeah, that's my favorite mechanism in Tranquility the Ascent. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you played Tranquility the Ascent or the original Tranquility, or if you've played a game with a similar mechanism. Let me know in the comments below.